Hey fellow explorers, welcome to Xsploor Halloween, where I read you a scary, spooky, but fun kid story every day of October. That's right, Halloween is not just a night for me, it's an entire month, all 31 days. A different story just for you. What story are we reading tonight? Let's find out. This is my good friend Hallie. Now Hallie always has the coolest, awesome, best ever Halloween stories to read. Hallie, what story did you bring for us to read tonight? You know, she never does say. She always gets kind of tongue-tied right around Halloween and she doesn't say. But she always brings the book. She never fails to bring the book. Let's see what book she brought tonight. Oh, this is a big one. Let's take off your handle here and see what you got. Okay. This is Enzo's Very Scary Halloween. Ooh, see that? That's Enzo the dog. Let's check it out. Tell us about Halloween, Daddy, Zoe says one fall evening. But tell it the scary way. What if Enzo gets frightened, Denny asks. I look up from my spot at the foot of Zoe's bed. Enzo, Zoe says to me sternly, Halloween is about magic spells and monsters, but don't be afraid. Afraid? Why would I be afraid? Enzo's like, it's just a regular night to me. It doesn't mean anything special to me. Enzo's not afraid of Halloween because he doesn't know what Halloween is. Well, I guess I'll find out soon and see if he gets scared or not. We'll find out. Denny turns out the light. He clicks on a flashlight and holds it below his chin so it shines a spooky light on his face. Ooh, you ever see that? A light comes up from behind, underneath you, like makes you look very, very spooky. Try it. On Halloween, he whispers, spirits and goblins run through the neighborhood. Witches fly on brooms, and dragons befriend fairy princesses. And the neighborhood will be haunted by ghosts forever if the people don't give treasures to all the creatures they see. Ooh, scary, huh? I can't wait, Zoe shrieks. It's so much fun, Enzo. Fun? It's going to take all my energy to protect us from this impending invasion. I hope I'm up to the task. Enzo thinks it's real. He thinks they're really going to be invaded by monsters and dragons and things of that nature. Silly little Enzo, huh? He doesn't know any better because he's just a dog. Over the next week, Denny's prophecy begins to come true. Each day, more houses on our street become haunted. Giant spiders weave webs on porches. Gravestones appear on lawns. And pumpkins try to sneak into people's houses. Hoo-hoo, huh? They are evil pumpkins with sneering demonic faces, but they're very slow moving, so we should be able to escape their evil spells. I've never trusted a pumpkin. Enzo's like, I don't trust pumpkins. I don't trust them at all. But look at all around, he sees like ghosts and witches and pumpkins and tombstones. I mean, if you don't know what's going on, that would be very, very scary, wouldn't it? Imagine, dogs must be like, what's going on? One evening, Denny brings a pumpkin into the house, and I am immediately suspicious. We're carving the jack-o'-lantern tonight, Zoe announces excitedly. After dinner, Denny places the pumpkin on newspapers he's laid out on the kitchen table. He rubs his hands together like a mad scientist, and then he picks up a kitchen knife. I can't bear to watch! I lie down in the corner and cover my eyes. Oh, he thinks he's going to kill the pumpkin, I guess. He doesn't know that you have to use a knife to carve the pumpkin out, huh? He doesn't realize that, but poor Enzo, he's just a doggy. He's like, he doesn't know what's going on. Wow, that's a pretty big pumpkin, though. Isn't that a pretty big pumpkin? Wow. It's alive, I hear Zoe say. I lift my head. The kitchen is dark except for a flickering light. I see Zoe with her magic wand, and then I see the pumpkin, which has been transformed into a demon. Oh, scary. Its eyes glow, and its grin flickers with fire in its belly. I feel my hackles rise, and I growl softly, my eyes fixed on the demon. I think Enzo is scared, Denny says. Denny blows out the candle, and Zoe gives me a hug. Don't worry, Enzo, she says. I'll protect you. I relax a bit, but not entirely. I fear that Zoe's magic has accidentally released an evil pumpkin spirit inside our house. An evil pumpkin spirit? Well, not really, but he thinks so, huh? That would be very, very scary, wouldn't it? Have an evil pumpkin spirit flying around your house? Ooh, spooky. The night of doom, Halloween, is soon upon us. I am very nervous. I go downstairs and I am frightened to see that Zoe isn't Zoe anymore. Look, Enzo, Danny says, our little girl has been transformed into a fairy princess. I sniff in her direction. She still smells like Zoe, but she looks different. Weird, isn't it? It's your turn to transform, Daddy, she says, and she waves her wand. I'll be right back, Danny says. Enzo thinks her wand really is magic, because she waves it and things happen. But not because it's magic, because they do it. Like he'll go and change his clothes, not because the magic wand did it for him. And you too, Zoe says to me. What? I think. Me? No. She pulls a bundle from a bag. I try to escape, but she traps me. Oh, terrible. She wraps a strange blanket over me and snaps things around my neck and haunches. Then she taps me with her magic wand. I bark, trying to fend off the magic spell. I dub thee Enzo the Dragon, she says. I don't feel transformed. I wonder if my barking has countered the effects of the spell. He's like, you can't turn me into a dragon, no, no, no. But what happened? Denny returns to the kitchen, but he isn't Denny at all. Zoe's magic wand has changed him into a scarecrow, with straw coming out of his sleeves and neck. His eyes peer out of a canvas sack with a face drawn on it. And he's wearing a dark hat. Oh no, poor Denny. Her magic wand did the trick, huh? Isn't this fun, Enzo? Zoe cried, laughing. I want to think it's fun, I really do. But I don't feel the fun. Oh, poor Enzo. Before I can resist, the scarecrow snaps a leash on my collar and leads me to the front door. I catch a glimpse of myself in the mirror. The transformation has taken root! I have sprouted spikes on my back and I have wings. I have become a dragon. Oh, no. Not really, it's just a costume, but he doesn't know, huh? Poor Enzo. It's the jack-o'-lantern's fault. Surely Zoe never would have done this to me. Denny and Zoe have fallen under the jack-o'-lantern's evil spell. Now we go trick-or-treating, Zoe tells me. This is the good part. He's thinking to himself, the good part? There's nothing good about this whole night. The houses in the neighborhood are glowing with evil energy. A layer of fog covers the lawn of one house, and a mummy paces back and forth looking for victims. Another house has been transformed into a monster with fire in its eyes. Its mouth spews smoke as it awaits its dinner. As we walk to Zoe's friend's house, I see that every child in the neighborhood has been transformed into a creature of some kind. So he sees these giant, like, inflatable monsters, like inflatable zombie and all these things, like a smoke coming out through the fog machine, and he sees kids trick-or-treating, and he thinks it's all real. But it's not, of course. Not at all. A goblin kneels down before me. A real dragon, he says. I bark, and, to my surprise, the goblin falls backward and writhes on the floor. Ah! He's just pretending, of course, right? It breathes fire, the goblin howls. Run from the fire-breathing dragon. I'm stunned. I didn't breathe fire, I barked. I bark again to show him. Ah! The ghosts and goblins and witches shriek, fire-breathing dragon! Ah, run! And now Enzo's probably really confused, right? He's like, wait a second, I just barked. Am I really breathing fire? I bet that's what it must be what he's thinking, I bet. We'll see. I try to tell them the truth. I'm not a fire-breathing dragon, but each time I bark, the astronauts and ninja warriors and vampires shriek and run from me. I realize I have been transformed. I don't want to hurt anyone by breathing fire, even if they are zombies and Frankenstein monsters and werewolves. I didn't ask to be transformed, and it's an evil spell that's upon me. I am frightened by my own fearsome power. Look at now he's imagining himself transforming. See that? Going from a dog into a full-on fire-breathing dragon. But he's not really. He's just thinking that because all the people are pretending that he is, but he doesn't understand pretend. He thinks it's all real. I pull away from the scarecrow and take off running. If I cannot save myself from this evil spell, I must sacrifice myself so that others will survive. I fly through the neighborhood, which is filled with terrifying things. I dodge this way and that, in and out, through hedges and around trees. When I look back, I see that all the creatures in the neighborhood are chasing me. Ha ha! The skeleton, the Frankensteins, the zombies, the witches, the ghosts are all chasing him because he's a scary dragon. I veer down an alley. There are more monsters in front of me and more behind. Ooh, the monsters are everywhere! Now he's really getting scared because he wants to have them chase him, but he doesn't want to get caught. He's really kind of scared about that, isn't he? Oh, poor Enzo. I am cornered, but I refuse to unleash my terrible fire breath on these unfortunate creatures. They are about to pounce upon me, but I will not defend myself. No, I don't want to hurt them. Be still, the fairy princess commands, stepping forward and halting the monsters with her magic wand. This is a friendly dragon. He will do us no harm. Don't be afraid, Enzo, Zoe whispers in my ear. We know you're not a real dragon. I'm not? I stop and look at her quizzically. Halloween is dressed up, she says. We pretend to be monsters for a night. That's what makes Halloween fun, being almost scared. I am stunned by this revelation. I let out a small bark and am relieved when the princess is not burned to a crisp. Ha ha, he thought the whole thing was real, of course, huh? But we know better than that. It's just a Halloween costume. Silly old Enzo. I peer up at the monsters and see around the edges they do look like kids in costumes. I stretch and do a downward-facing dog before Zoe. Be not afraid, little dragon, the fairy princess says, waving her wand high. We need your help. Lead us to the houses so we may collect our treasures and so this neighborhood will not be haunted forever. Now he has a task to do, huh? Enzo now has a glorified task. He's going to lead all the monsters and all the costume people down the street to all the houses. Proudly, I lead the parade of pretend monsters to the houses and help them collect all their treasures. The residents of each house fill the monsters' sacks with gold coins and jewels to appease them. And after each house, the monsters and goblins and vampires thank me for my guidance. They're like, good job, Enzo. Good thing we had a fire-breathing dragon to lead the way. And look at, he looks very proud of that fact, doesn't he? As our journey continues into the night, the monsters slowly disperse until finally we are the only ones left in our parade. Look at how tired she looks. She's like, oh, it's been a long night. The scarecrow picks up the fairy princess and carries her the rest of the way home. She's so tired, she can't even walk anymore. When we arrive, I am relieved to see that our house is still there and has not been haunted forever. Oh. The scarecrow sets the fairy princess on her bed and takes off her shoes. She waves her wand one last time. The spell is broken, she says sleepily. All Hallows Eve is over, the scarecrow agrees. He's no longer wearing his hat or his mask, so I know he's turned back into Denny. I bark twice because I am happy to see him and Zoe again. That's right, Enzo, Denny says. It's all over. Until next year. I gulp. Next year? Poor Enzo. He's like, no, not another year of this. No. Poor Enzo. Oh my goodness. Dogs weren't meant for Halloween night, were they? And look at, as he dreams, there's a shadow of a dragon going across the moon. Could that be a real dragon or just one of his dreams? I guess we'll never know. Enzo's Very Scary Halloween was written and illustrated. Written by Garth Stein and illustrated by R.W. Alley. Well, I think there's a whole series of Enzo books you can check out if you like Enzo. I like Enzo. He's a pretty cool dog. Oh, that was an awesome story. And I'm reading you 31 awesome Halloween stories this month. That's right, one for every day of October, the Halloween month. Check them all out here on YouTube. And bye-bye!